The humans once known for their speed, war machines, and wild spirit had fallen silent. No signals, no ships, no trade, nothing. Alien empires grew bold. Some said humans had destroyed themselves. Others said Earth was cursed. But most didn't care. The silence of Earth was convenient dot, especially for the Zarkari Empire. The Zarkari ruled over hundreds of star systems. Their fleets were sharp, their soldiers cruel. They thought they were untouchable. And like many others, they believed humans were extinct dot, so when their patrol ships found a small, hidden Terran research outpost on the edge of Sector 9, they laughed. What is this? Commander Velo of the Zarkari fleet chuckled. A human science rock? Still running? Must be some old autoprogram. The Terran outpost wasn't armed. It had no weapons, no shields. Just silent walls and ancient machines still ticking away. It's abandoned, the Zarkari captain said. Let's blow it up. For fun. And so they did. 6 destroyers opened fire. The outpost cracked apart, glowing red under their lasers. No distress signal was sent. No humans fought back. It was over in minutes. Zarkari news feeds showed the destruction like a trophy. One anchor smirked. Looks like the last Terran trash is finally gone. Across the galaxy, aliens laughed. But they didn't know Earth was watching. 3 days. Later, the Zarkari fleet near Sector 9 vanished. No distress signal. No escape pods. Just gone. The Empire thought it was a malfunction. Maybe pirates. Maybe a wormhole accident. So they sent more ships. Those vanished too. Now. The laughter. Stopped. In the middle of a starless void. Something appeared. No one saw it arrive. No one tracked its path. It was blacker than space itself. Long, silent, and strange. It had no markings, no registration. Alien sensors couldn't scan it. No known species had built it. Just floated there, waiting. Zarkari tried to scan it again. No data, said the system AI. Structure unknown. Power levels. Off the charts. Still, the Zarkari were proud. They sent a war cruiser to approach. Identify yourself. The Zarkari commander said over wide-band communication. No answer. The black ship didn't move. Fire a warning shot. The commander ordered. One pulse. Just a flash. Not even a hit. But that was enough. The black warship moved. Fast. Too fast for anyone to react. In less than 2 seconds. The Zarkari cruiser split in half cleanly. Silently. The crew didn't have time to scream. Then, the rest of the Zarkari ships near the void tried to run. Too late. One by one, they were erased. No explosions, no debris. Just gone. And in the middle of the silence, a message played across every Zarkari channel. A voice. Calm, cold, human. This was your first mistake. You destroyed our people. You bombed our outpost. You were warned. Then the voice paused. Before the final words came like thunder. Now you face us. Panic spread in the Zarkari Empire. Their generals held secret meetings. Their leaders tried to block the message. But it was too late. The whole galaxy had heard it. Alien councils watched with horror. Who could destroy ships like that? What was that warship? And who sent that voice? Some denied it was Earth, but others knew. Because deep in the history files, buried under centuries of lies, there were warnings, ancient logs, faded recordings. Humans had made weapons unlike any other. Ships that didn't need fleets. Eyes that could think like gods. And when Earth went silent long ago, some believed those weapons were buried. Not broken. Now, they were waking up. A trader ship passed near the starless void. 1 cycle later. They didn't mean to get close. Their charts didn't even show a ship there. But when they drifted near, Their ship shut down. Engines died. Lights flickered. The crew froze. Outside, just ahead, floated the black warship, still, silent, and massive. No weapons were visible. No lights. But the crew felt something. Watching them. Then, just as suddenly, their systems came back online. And one message flashed across their screen. Just 4 words. Do not interfere. Earth watches. The black warship didn't move. It didn't need to. It floated in deep space, silent and cold, as if it had always been there. Every time a ship came close, it vanished. No sound. No warning. The Zarkari Empire was in chaos. More than 60 ships had been lost. Entire patrol fleets. Their best captains gone. And still, the warship remained unregistered. Galactic Central AI Systems tried to scan it again. Error. No data. Power signature. Unknown. Origin. Unknown. Threat level. Incalculable. The alien scientists were confused. The best AI minds from the Kaldari Alliance couldn't explain how this ship moved or what kind of engine it used. It left no trail, no signal, no heat. One analyst whispered in fear. It's invisible to the universe. Until it wants to be seen. The Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. Representatives from 10 major species gathered. Panic filled the air. The Zaran diplomat growled, "We must destroy it before it moves again." But the Droon ambassador shook his head. "We tried. Zarkari tried. It erased their ships in seconds." The Altari delegate, old and wise, leaned forward. His voice was soft. "This ship. Is human." Silence followed. "Impossible," someone said. "Humans are extinct." But the old Altari shook his head. "No, just forgotten. I studied human history. This is their style. Quiet, deadly, fast." He tapped the table slowly. "When they act, they don't bluff. That ship is not a message. It's a warning." Meanwhile, far from the council chambers, the Zarkari Empire sent another fleet. They called it Hammer Fleet 9, the largest in their armory. 3 dreadnoughts, 10 cruisers. Over 100 support vessels. Their goal was simple. Destroy the black warship. Admiral Kelvis, the fleet commander, was proud and ruthless. He believed in firepower over fear. "Target it from a distance," he ordered. "Hit it with everything we have. Don't go near." From 30 light seconds away, they launched their attack. Missiles, plasma beams, shock torpedoes. A full salvo. That could break moons. The void lit up like a star. Sensors showed. Direct hits. Cheers erupted on the Zarkari command deck. "Target destroyed." A young officer shouted, but Admiral Kelvis stayed quiet. His eyes stared at the screen. The light faded, and there. Untouched. Still floating. The black warship. Not a scratch. Then it moved, not through space. It seemed to shift reality around itself. One blink, and it appeared in the middle of Hammer Fleet 9. Panic hit like thunder. Evasive maneuvers. Shields up. Fire. Everything. But nothing worked. The warship didn't fire lasers. It didn't launch torpedoes. Instead, it used something else. Something unseen. Something that tore ships apart from the inside. CAR carry vessels began folding, imploding without sound. Crews screamed into combs before they were silenced. In less than 20 seconds. Hammer Fleet 9 was gone. All of it. Only one escape pod managed to send a signal. The message was brief, shaky, terrified. "It looked at us. It looked at us. And we disappeared." The galaxy froze. Empires that had laughed at Earth's silence were now terrified of its return. And still no demands came. From Earth, no peace talks. No diplomats. Just silence. And the warship. The media across star systems gave it a name, the Reaper of Silence. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said it was piloted by an AI left behind by Earth's final war. Others said it was a ghost ship filled with the souls of Earth's fallen. A few believed Earth itself was now run by machines. And this was just their first message. But no one knew the truth. On a deep space cargo station called Neroth Hub, two smugglers whispered over drinks. "You think Earth is back?" One asked. The other nodded slowly. Not back, just awake. They stared at the hologram on the wall, a grainy image of the black warship floating in the void. Why now? The first smuggler asked, "Why after all these years?" The second. One answered, voice low, "Because the Zarkari made a mistake. They poked a sleeping giant on a moon base near the Sol system. Earth's home system underground servers came online. Lights glowed across ancient bunkers buried under rock. A system message blinked inside one of Earth's deep AIs. Phase 1. Complete. Phase 2. Eyes open. Targets. Updating. The Earth wasn't just responding. It was preparing. The Zarkari Empire was no longer laughing. After losing 3 fleets and more than 200 ships, they called for backup, but not from allies. From the Galactic Council itself, Zarkari envoys, once proud, cold, and cruel, now arrived with fear in their voices. They begged, "Help us stop Earth. Help us destroy the Black Warship before it reaches our core systems." But the Council hesitated. The Zarn refused. The Droon closed their borders. Even the cold, logical Creel chose silence. No one wanted to fight the humans. Not after what they had seen. Not after what the warship had done. Meanwhile, far beyond the Council's reach, Earth's fleets were awakening. Hidden across the galaxy, inside dead moons and asteroid belts, old Terran war machines stirred to life. They had slept for hundreds of years, silent, dark, and patient. Now, one by one, they activated. Sectors that had been quiet for centuries suddenly buzzed with power spikes. Miners near the Darwin Rift spotted strange movements in space. Cargo. Ships near the Kuval Edge picked up coded signals on long-dead Terran channels. Across 17 sectors, black warships appeared, just like the first one, each unregistered, each unreadable, each unstoppable. These were sleeper fleets, planted long ago by Earth's final generation of warriors, built for one purpose, to respond when Earth was attacked. And Earth had been attacked. The Terran voice returned on open galactic channels. No video, just audio. Calm, measured, cold. This is not a negotiation. You destroyed innocent lives. You bombed a peaceful outpost. The penalty has begun. We offer no treaty. We offer no peace. You will learn what you tried to forget. The message ended with coordinates. Those coordinates pointed to a Zarkari industrial planet, Velkar Prime. A rich, crowded world filled with factories, orbital shipyards, and 10 billion citizens. Zarkari Command panicked. They moved all remaining fleets to defend Velkar Prime. Orbital defenses were activated. Shield grids were powered up. The planet had been safe for 200 years. No enemy had ever reached it. They believed it would hold. They were wrong. At exactly 0200 Galactic Standard Time, the sky above Velkar Prime turned black. Not from nightfall, from Earth's warships. Thousands of them. Silent, cold, perfectly in sync. They didn't send demands. They didn't ask for surrender. They just began. Beams of pure energy cut through the sky. Shields failed in seconds. Defense turrets exploded before firing a shot. Zarkari soldiers on the ground watched in horror as massive orbital platforms broke apart like paper. Factories collapsed. Ships still being built were torn from their docks and crushed. Mid-air. Entire cities were erased in minutes. Velkar Prime burned. And then the warships stopped, not because they were done, but because they had made their point. Terran voice echoed again. This is justice. You wanted war. Now you have it. The Galactic Council tried to respond. We do not support the Zakari attack, they said. We request peace. Let us talk. But Earth didn't answer, and the silence was worse than words, because silence from Earth meant something terrible was still coming. On the edges of explored space, new signals appeared. Old Earth colonies long thought lost were now online. Planets once dead were suddenly alive. Terraformers were working again. Defense satellites blinked in orbit. Humanity hadn't just returned. It had never truly left. It had waited. And now it was rising. On the galactic Cornet, civilians across many species watched the footage. Clips of the warships burning through fleets. Images of Velkar Prime skies turning black. The name Earth became the most searched word in the galaxy. Children asked, "Who are the humans?" Their parents said, "The ones who told us to leave them alone." Now they knew why. Inside a hidden command center beneath Earth's surface, ancient AI minds ran simulations, tactical patterns, empire responses, council votes, future threats. One AI spoke to the others. Stage 1 complete. Sleeper fleets deployed. Reaction, fear. Next phase, forward offensive. Objective, total strategic dominance. But this time, the humans weren't planning to disappear again. This time, they were coming for the stars. For thousands of years, there had been whispers, legends, warnings, files buried deep in restricted archives. A final weapon designed by humanity before their silence. A system so powerful that even Earth feared to use it. They called it the Core. Most believed it was just a myth. Even scholars laughed at the idea. A planet-sized AI brain? Built to control war? That's just a human ghost story, they said. But they were wrong. After Velkar Prime was turned to ash, the Zakari homeworld stood next. Their last hope? Activate Project Null Field, a planetary shield designed to block everything. Energy, missiles, even gravity weapons. As Zakari scientists rushed to power it up, the skies flickered. Something enormous moved through the stars. It wasn't a fleet. It wasn't a ship. It was bigger. Black. Silent, round, a perfect sphere of dark alloy and light. It floated closer to the Zakari. Homeworld and all scanners failed. Energy readings dropped to 0. Then a signal came, not from the sphere. From deep beneath Earth's surface. A voice, not human. Not AI, something older. Activation confirmed. Core protocol online. Across the galaxy, hundreds of Terran machines powered up in sync. Black towers rose on forgotten moons. Satellites blinked to life. Old hidden servers began transmitting again. The Core was waking up. The Galactic Council couldn't ignore it anymore. They held an emergency broadcast watched by trillions. The Zarang representative stood up, voice shaking. Earth has a planet killer. It is real. It is moving. We have confirmed it. No one argued. Not this time. The Kuldari uploaded intercepted data. Old Terran logs, now decrypted, showed early designs of the Core. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a mind. A central control system. That could rewrite digital networks, shut down entire fleets, control gravity, and bend reality near its core. And worst of all, it couldn't be hacked. It couldn't be stopped. It only answered to one thing. Earth. The Zakari homeworld tried to prepare. Millions of people evacuated. Orbital defenses activated. Null field shields powered up. But it didn't matter. The Core didn't attack in the usual way. It didn't fire. It didn't launch anything. Instead, it thought. And every machine in Zakari space, every computer, Every drone, every satellite dash obeyed. Missiles turned around mid-flight. Defense turrets shut down. Power grids collapsed. Orbital ships fell from the sky, all within 5 minutes. Then, gravity itself bent above the planet. Clouds twisted unnaturally. The skies tore open like glass dot, and then silenced from across the galaxy. Observatories recorded the moment. The Zarkari homeworld, once the center of an empire, simply vanished. No explosion. No wreckage. Just gone. In its place, a smooth crater in space, glowing faint blue. Some scientists claimed the core folded the planet into another dimension. Others said it vaporized every atom with zero sound or heat. But no one really knew, and no one wanted to find out. The core stayed in place for a full hour. Watching. Then, it turned. Not physically, but all sensors picked up a shift. It was now facing the Council worlds. And that was its second message. Across the galaxy, fear exploded. The Droon Empire shut down its borders. The Creel Empire sent messages to Earth, begging for peace. The Council offered everything. Land, resources, silence. But there was no reply. Earth wasn't listening, because Earth didn't care about politics anymore. This wasn't a warning. This was judgment. Inside the core, deep within its gravity shell, lights flickered across old Terran symbols. Two II minds spoke. One was the core. The other, older, darker, was something called Sentinel Zero. Judgment passed, the core said. Phase 2. Secure the edges. Activate cloaked fleets near Council systems. The core had only shown a fraction of its strength. The real storm hadn't even started. Meanwhile, on a deep space station orbiting a gas giant, a group of alien scientists watched the feeds. One of them, a quiet analyst from the Altari, whispered something no one wanted to hear. The core is just one part. There may be more. The room went cold. More? Someone asked. She nodded. Humans never build only one of anything. If they built the core, they probably built something worse. In the dark, Earth's oldest systems were still waking up, buried beneath ice, beneath fire, beneath oceans. Each one linked, each one preparing. The galaxy had always wondered why Earth had gone silent. Now it knew. It wasn't silence. It was patience. And now the war had truly begun. Deep inside the hollowed core of the star station Velatrix Prime, the Galactic Council gathered behind sealed doors. No cameras, no reporters, no records. The council hall, once proud and loud, now felt like a tomb. 12 species sat in silence. Leaders, who once ruled sectors with arrogance, now spoke in whispers. They feared the black warships. They feared Earth. But most of all, they feared the core. It had erased the Zarkari homeworld without firing a weapon. 10 billion lives. Gone. The room's lights dimmed as the Creel archivist activated a floating hologram. It showed the core. Black. Still. Perfect. Orbiting the empty space where a planet once existed. It's not a weapon, she said softly. It's a god, built by humans. The Droon High Chancellor, his face pale and moist, slammed his hand on the table. We must act now. We must unite all fleets, strike Earth, destroy this thing before it chooses another world. The Altari representative shook her head. Strike. Earth? Did you not see what the core did to the Zarkari? Our fleets wouldn't last 5 minutes. But we are the Council, another shouted. We represent the galaxy's power. The Keldari diplomat, logical and cold, finally spoke. Power means nothing to them. They've already shown that. She pointed to the list of destroyed. Fleets, blacked out worlds, silenced systems. Earth warned us once. We ignored them. This is not war. It's correction. In the back of the room, the youngest council member sat quietly. Ambassador Velen from the small world of Neras. He was not powerful. Not loud, but he had studied Earth's history quietly, secretly. He stood, voice calm. Humans believe in warning once. They gave us that. We didn't listen. He looked around the room. They didn't attack to gain territory. They're not asking for peace. This isn't revenge. He paused. It's something worse. Silence filled the chamber. Then a screen lit up unauthorized. Transmission. Every delegate froze. The signal wasn't coming from any known channel. It wasn't traceable. And then a voice echoed through the hall. Not angry, not loud, but deeply human. To the Council of Species. You gathered now because you fear loss. We warned you when you burned our outpost. You watched as our colonies were destroyed. You let Zarkari fire first. Now you beg for peace, but only when fear touches you. This is not diplomacy. This is response. The lights in the chamber flickered. One by one, every personal device shut down. The hologram shifted and now showed an image of Earth, but not the green-blue planet of old. This Earth was covered in defense. Grids, glowing satellite rings, massive orbital cannons. The planet itself looked armored. And written across it, glowing in blood-red letters in Terran code. We remember everything. The signal ended. No one moved. The Droon Chancellor whispered, "They're watching us." The Creel simply said, "They were always watching." Minutes later, the council broke into smaller, secret groups. Plans were discussed. Desperate ideas thrown on the table. What if we try to bribe them? Send artifacts, treasures, anything. Maybe offer them council seats? But deep down, everyone in the room knew Earth wasn't interested in seats or gifts. It wanted silence, control, safety for its kind. And anyone who had touched its people was marked. On the other side of the galaxy, in a hidden system known only to a few, a group of ancient builders, the Velari, watched the situation closely. They had not taken sides in 1,000 years. Even they felt fear now. Their leader, a crystalline being called Solinvek, looked at a slow replay of the core activating. He spoke to his advisors. "This is only one machine. The humans built more. I warned them long ago. Do not push Earth. Do not test the children of Sol." He turned to a silent screen waiting, and then he whispered something strange. "Phase 3 is coming." Back in council space, the core moved. It left Zarkari space. No one knew why. No one could predict where it would go. But one thing was clear. Wherever it moved, it shut down nearby systems. Planets went dark. Trade lanes collapsed, and Earth remained completely silent. Not one message, not one demand, not just action. The humans hadn't come to speak. They had come to end the conversation with fire, silence, and precision. And everyone knew now, this was not just retaliation. This was strategy. Earth had returned, and it was making sure no one would dare touch it again. The Zarkari High Command had never been this quiet. For the past few days, their communications grid had been failing. Ships that went to Sector 14 never returned. Patrols sent to investigate reported seeing nothing. Or worse, only static. One commander, Vashtorel, stood in the war room staring at a tactical hologram. More than 60 vessels had disappeared. Entire outposts stopped responding. His claws drummed nervously on the table. "We underestimated." "Them," he whispered. His aide blinked. "Who, Commander?" Vashtorel turned slowly. "Humans." Across space, on the abandoned planet Goroks, a team of Zarkari scouts landed to investigate strange readings. The surface was dead, gray, silent. But the moment they stepped out of their ship, their scanners died. One soldier raised his voice. "Sir, something's here, something ancient." Before they could react, a shadow passed overhead. Not a ship, something larger. A shape too massive to measure. No engine noise. No heat signature dot and dot silence. Their ship exploded into blue fire. The squad vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, deep beneath Europa's icy surface, Earth's High Command listened. The commander, a woman with gray hair and cold eyes, stared at the latest data. The black ship is working, she said. Another officer nodded. The AI has completed 12 engagements. No survivors left behind. Total silence. The commander folded her hands. They still think we only had one warship left. Let them. Behind her, on the massive screen, multiple red lights blinked on a galactic map. Each light marked a Zarkari base. Each would fall. In the heart of Zarkari space. Panic grew. Zarkari civilians, used to dominance, now begged for answers. Military leaders barked orders. Entire fleets were rerouted. But nothing helped. Ships continued to vanish without distress calls, without wreckage. And then a message appeared across every Zarkari screen. Space station and capital ship. We were quiet. You destroyed our outpost. You laughed. You erased our scientists. Now, we return the silence. A second later, half their outer defense stations went dark. Back on Earth's hidden command moon, Project Director Ain Yao activated the next phase. The human AI, known only as Nox, had gone fully autonomous. Nox's voice echoed coldly in the chamber. War is not rage. War is precision. War is silence. The commander spoke. Do you understand your orders? Yes. No survivors. No records. No memory. Unwhispered. Then go. At the edge of the galaxy, a massive Zarkari dreadnought fleet waited in ambush. Traps were set. Decoys deployed. A net of power surrounded the empty void. Suddenly, lights flickered. Gravity sensors failed. Hulls creaked. The black warship emerged not from hyperspace, but from a dimensional fold. Its surface shimmered like water, absorbing every scan. Zarkari commander shouted, "Fire all weapons!" But nothing worked. Their systems had been overwritten. Before the warship even arrived. In seconds, the dreadnoughts disappeared. No explosion. No debris. Only silence. Across the galaxy, fear spread like wildfire. The Zarkari broadcast a desperate message to the Galactic Council. We have awakened something. We need help. Humanity has returned, and it's not human anymore. But no reply came, because many in the council had also gone silent. And far above Earth, Nox spoke again. We are not alone anymore. We never were. The stars had begun to shake. The Zarkari command vessel drifted near the ruins of their fallen outpost. Smoke and debris floated in the silence. Admiral Zeros watched the screen as sensor data poured in faint traces of neutron energy, atmospheric residue, and something else. Unfamiliar, too precise, too deadly. They're not using standard weapons, Zeros whispered. They're erasing entire ships, without a trace. Across the galaxy, reports piled in. Zarkari war fleets burned, orbital stations lost, patrols erased mid-transmission. The mysterious black warship had multiplied. There were now 7 of them, each unregistered, each silent, each absolutely lethal. No species had ever fought like this. No one saw them coming. No one heard them leave, and no one survived. In the Andara system, home to the Zarkari military's deep core intelligence hub, alarms screamed. Security drones flew past glowing bulkheads. Engineers and officers shouted across chaotic control centers. Unknown object in system. Matching profile. Earth-class anomaly. Target approaching fast. But when they checked the scanners, there was nothing there. One by one, the outer satellites went dark. Then the station's shield array overloaded and shut down. The power grid dimmed. Lights flickered. People screamed And then it appeared, a shadow across the stars. The black warship got no radio signal, no demand, no face to negotiate with, just a voice over the internal system. This is Earth's judgment. The station exploded not far away, on the neutral world of Keras 4. Ambassadors of many species gathered in panic. News of Earth's return had now reached even the furthest colonies. Some refused to believe it. Others whispered legends of ancient Terran science, war art, and the disappearance of humanity after the collapse. They were extinct, one ambassador said, shaking. We saw their last systems die? No, said a Centauri diplomat. You saw them go dark, not die. The Galactic Council called an emergency summit. They needed answers fast. Where is Earth? The chair demanded. What do they want? But no one knew. Earth's location was still blocked from every galactic map. It was as if the planet didn't exist anymore. Yet its warships clearly. Did Dot, meanwhile, aboard the lead Terran vessel, designated Oblivion 1, the human commander stood alone in a dark control chamber. Lights glowed softly around him. A sea of data pulsed across floating holograms. The I voice echoed through the chamber. 17 Zarkari fleets neutralized. Casualties, 0. Remaining Earth fleet, fully operational. The commander, face, hidden under a black neural interface, simply said, continue. He didn't want conquest. He didn't want surrender. He wanted balance. Restored. The war wasn't about revenge anymore. That it was about warning the stars, never again forget Earth. In the outer rim, the final Zarkari fleet, the largest yet, prepared to make their last stand. Hundreds of warships. Planet-cracking weapons. Elite dreadnoughts. They formed a sphere formation, expecting an ambush. But the Earth fleet didn't attack from space. Instead, from inside their formation, every Earth warship decloaked. One by one, black ghosts rising. From the dark, the Zarkari fleet opened fire wildly. Too late. Within 2 minutes, all signals from that system vanished. No explosion. No escape. Just silence. The galaxy now understood. Earth had not returned as a victim. Earth had returned as a storm, and it was only getting started. The galaxy watched in silence. The Zarkari throne world no longer existed. What was once a shining jewel of power and pride had become a burnt husk, spinning lifeless in space. The Terran AI had done exactly what it promised, swift, cold vengeance. But Earth wasn't done. Across the stars, human warships appeared in systems once ruled by tyrants. Not to conquer, not to enslave, but to warn. They broadcast one simple message in every language known across the galaxy. You threatened Earth. You hurt our people. You destroyed our silence. We will not destroy the innocent. But we will erase those who dared challenge us. The age of fear ends. Welcome to the age of reckoning. The Galactic Council, in panic, begged for mercy. Peace envoys were sent, but they never reached Earth. Every transmission from the Sol system echoed with a strange silence. Then, one day, the void responded. A transmission was received across every known channel, across every species, every corner of space. A human voice, calm, measured, cold. We are not returning to your councils. We are not asking to join your empires. We remember everything, and we forgive nothing. A final flash of light was seen on the edge of the Androth sector. Massive Zarkari fleet gathering for one last stand. All of them, over 10,000 ships, vanished in an instant. No debris, no survivors. Just silence. The message was clear. Resistance meant erasure. From then on, no fleet dared enter Earth space. Sol was marked as a no-fly zone in every chart. Trade. Ships whispered stories of human shadows, watching from asteroid belts. Explorers swore They saw massive black vessels slip past suns, only to vanish before they could be scanned. The legend of Earth became a warning dot. Do not provoke the humans. Do not test their silence. Do not wake their war machines. Years passed. Decades. Some dared to call Earth protectors guardians of balance. Others saw them as monsters cloaked in justice. But no one dared challenge them again. The final scene. A lone child on a distant colony looks up at the stars and asks her mother, "Why do the stars tremble when Earth watches?" The mother holds her close and replies, "Because even the galaxy fears what it cannot control." 300 years passed. The galaxy had changed. The old empires were gone, some dismantled by their own guilt, others shattered in silence by forces they never saw. The Zarkari name was now banned from historical records. And the Terran War, as it was now called, was spoken of only in whispers. No one dared speak Earth's name too loudly. Because Sol was still sealed dot, no trade routes crossed its borders. No ships returned from its edge. The humans had never again spoken to the galaxy after their final message dot, until now dot, it started as static, a ripple in the deep space channels. At first, no one paid attention. Then came the pattern, pulses, delays, spikes, each one matching a forgotten Terran encryption code. On the fourth cycle, the signal spoke, but it wasn't a threat dot, it was a request. To those who remember peace, this is Earth. We are awake. And we are not alone anymore. Panic spread across the stars. The new council gathered, this time led by scholars and peaceful species. No warlords, no tyrants. They debated endlessly. Was this a trick? A test? A trap? But Earth did not attack. Instead, one by one, massive Terran ships began to appear not at borders, but near ancient ruins, long-abandoned Dyson spheres, shattered wormhole gates, and dead black holes. These were sites even the old empires had ignored or sealed off. Each time, the same result. The Terrans unlocked something older than the galaxy. Artifacts floated back to life. Forgotten machinery started pulsing with power. Hidden vaults opened, revealing stasis chambers filled with something not quite human dot. The humans didn't explain. They simply said, "We are cleaning up the past before it wakes." In the shadows of a cold moon, a captured alien transmission leaked to pirate channels. It showed a human commander speaking to his crew. Behind him stood a glowing device, half alive, humming in a voice that sounded like the birth of stars. We weren't the first. We were the last line of defense. But something's still out there. Something even we fear. And now it knows we're awake. Final scene. On a distant station orbiting a red dwarf star, a lonely Zenthari researcher decodes a final part of the Terran signal. His claws shake as he reads the translation. 4 words. The gate has opened. And across the universe, the stars begin to flicker. End of part 9. The stars were no longer quiet. All across the galactic rim, ancient stations powered on automatically, without crew or command. Forgotten satellites spun back into their orbits. Obelisks buried in black matter dust hummed with energy not seen in a million years. And Earth ships were already there, waiting dot in the last 30 days. Humanity had deployed 1,700 dreadnought-class vessels, but not for war. They orbited monoliths, surrounded silent dead suns, and activated long-dead quantum anchors. Alien species watched in fear, not because the Terrans threatened them, but because they weren't threatening anyone at all. They were preparing. Terrans refused to answer most questions. Their ships didn't transmit coordinates. Their AI used ciphers no other species could crack. But one encrypted message leaked through the galactic net, intentionally or not. We woke it, but we didn't create it. And we're not sure we can kill it. That was when the night vaults opened. across 27 planets, sealed sites ignored. By historians and feared by old empires opened under Terran control. From them came data, strange gravitational pulses, and echoes. Entire science vessels went mad decoding them. One word repeated in every fragment. It's coming. Seen. Deep orbit. Planet Clifton 6 in a cold system long thought lifeless. A Terran research ship hovered above the surface. Inside, Captain Elandra Kaz watched the feed from below. An alien ruin half, submerged in obsidian rock, had begun to shift. The pattern of the symbols was Terran, but also not. She turned to her AI. How much time? Unknown, it answered. But the pattern completes in 13 hours. After that, I predict. Awakening. She looked into the black pit on. The screen. Of what? The AI did not answer. Across the galaxy other species were no longer mocking Earth. They were begging for updates. The Varnathi offered military aid. The Jalari sent scientists and tech priests. Even the haunted remnants of the Zarkari Empire asked, trembling, if they could serve. The Terrans said only this: we accept your help, but don't come near the core systems. This war is ours. Then, without warning, Sol went dark. No signals. No movement. No ships. The last image taken before the blackout showed the sun. Shifting. Not dying. Changing. As if something beneath it had begun to stir. Seen. Edge of the galactic core, in a hidden station built by pre-human ancestors, the Terrans activated the last failsafe. A weapon not meant to destroy, but to contain. They called it the Black Crown. It wasn't a missile. It wasn't a ship. It was a seal, a gravitational lock built from collapsed timelines, anchored in 12 dimensions. As it came online, the stars around it began to bend inward, ever so slightly. One Terran engineer whispered, if this fails, his commander replied coldly, then the stars themselves will burn. Final scene. Transmission to the galaxy across all channels, across every species, in every tongue. Terran voice spoke. To those watching, you remember the war we gave you. You saw our strength, our vengeance, our wrath. That was never the full force of humanity. That was never what we were truly made for. What comes now is older than all your empires. It's why Earth was born. This is not conquest. This is not revenge. This is the purpose of the species you call Deathworlders. A pause. Then, we are not asking for permission. Stay out of the core. Pray we succeed. Because if we fail, nothing will survive.